Hey, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're gonna be jumping into another session of Epic 7L. Today, got some more news for you guys. That's right, we got a huge batch of content updates, and as you can see on screen, the long-awaited Mage Luna. So let's go ahead and dive in to see what they have in store for us here. The Mage Luna preview is going to be quite nice because they actually gave her the homage treatment. They changed her design just a little bit, and I'm a huge fan of it. I wasn't a fan of the original design, but this new one here is pretty good. See, that's the original design, right? But it's so much better now for reasons, but so apparently her storyline is going to be following that of Ervelin's, which is kind of interesting, and her skills are absolutely nutty. Now, I've already looked through everything. This is not really a true first impressions, and I know that in comments and stuff, even recently, I've been telling people like, hey, I don't really do first impressions on things, mostly because the fact that they are, you know, first impressions and how units work in practice never really align all too well, at least with the masses, with the public opinion, especially on platforms like Reddit and stuff, which can quickly become like echo chambers. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys my opinions on Luna here, just because you guys are really interested in hearing my thoughts. And I still stand by the fact that you should not judge a unit until you use them and test them out extensively. For example, the latest one being Albedo. Albedo was deemed to be, by the community, terrible, needed buffs, she's lacking something, but she's an incredible unit, I've always stood by that, and now she's super meta. In fact, she's so meta that she has like a 60% plus win rate in Legend, which is absolutely insane for a unit. She's pretty much as useful, if not more useful, than ML5 is, for reference. But let's go ahead and jump into this here. New Moon Luna. So she's gonna be a 5-star light elemental mage, and she has, I know they say, oh, she has high base health, she has an HP scaler, but let's take a second to admire that speed. 124 speed is nutty for what you're about to see her do. For reference, the fastest units in the game are Ron and Kayron, both of whom have 129 base speed. So 124 base speed is insane. And again, if you want perspective on it, a lot of people who use slower units like Flitica, Flitica is usually like 290, some people have 300 Fliticas. She is a unit that has 114 base speed. So New Moon Luna is 10 speed faster than her. It's going to be insane, right? So let's take a look here, though, at her stats. I'll be fast forwarding throughout the video so that we don't have to wait and watch the whole thing. But here we go. Starting off with her S3, and this is insane because she has an AoE full buff strip. This is not decreasing the buff durations and stuff like Earth Sharoon and things. This is a full buff strip. Everything is gone before sealing everybody and making them unable to be buffed for 2 turns. This is an AoE full team seal that ignores resist if you soul burn. And guess what? She's a mage, so you're probably going to put book on her so she can soul burn herself. It's insane, right? The other thing is, I think it's really underrated right here, is the unable to be buffed. That debuff, being AoE and being a non-attack skill, is huge. This is one of the reasons why Para came back in the meta, is because she countered so many units by putting that debuff on them. This unable to be buffed prevents things like immortality from showing up. If you're fast enough, it prevents vigor buffs, prevents rage buffs, right, from Amalpolitus, C. Lilius as well. Okay, so it's really strong. It also prevents your opponents from easily cleansing, because you put 2 debuffs on them. It prevents them from easily cleansing. The seal prevents units like Dilibet if you're relying on a passive to proc to help cleanse your team. Good luck with that, because that's not happening. Yeah, really solid 2 debuffs right there. And also, at the start of the first battle, if that wasn't already enough, she grants skill effect nullifier to herself 1 time. Skill effect nullifier is not skill nullifier. Skill nullifier nullifies damage from 1 attack. This nullifies the effects from skills of enemy heroes and artifacts, which is insane. It means she can't be controlled turn 1, she can't get her buffs stripped turn 1, right? It is really good. You can't be controlled, you're basically inevitable. This is what the new Luna is. She's inevitable. You will be debuffed, and she's gonna hold book, because what else are you gonna hold, right? So as you can see here, it doesn't matter that you got outsped by Para and stuff, really doesn't matter here. What matters is that you get to ignore Res and Soulburn and full team seal and unbuffable. It's nuts, right? But if you thought that was crazy, by the way, that skill 3 is a 4-turn cooldown, so you can get to it pretty quickly. She doesn't take extra turns like Para and stuff. Para gets countered by things like Bunny Dumb, and she doesn't. So do keep that in mind as well. Her skill 2 is a defense break. It's actually an HP scaling attack. It's really strong, and you actually deal splash damage. Much like Karina's S3 does splash damage to everybody, scaling with defense, she does that, but it scales with HP. Now, also, she gains herself 50% combat readiness, because why not? Let her turn cycle faster so that she can get to that S3 even sooner. 4-turn cooldown on that S3, 2-turn cooldown on this S2, by the way, which is really good. So it basically means that you can S2, afterwards you take an S1, and then you can S2 again, and then soon enough you'll have your S3 back up. Speaking of your S1, also gaining combat readiness, so 20% combat readiness gain from using your S1 is just insane turn cycling here, but very typical for new units nowadays. If you don't have a stun or sleep, typically you have a combat readiness gain on your S1, so it is what it is. But yeah, she's going to be quite nutty, and I think she's pretty much a must-pull. She is made to be good. I also really like her lobby animation. That little bit of detail there is pretty sick. Alright, we are going to skip through the arena showcase here, and we're going to go to Meruen's Mail. This was actually just kind of hidden in this longer video, and I didn't realize it, but yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. So she's going to cover a lot of new changes, things like, oh boy, things like Rift, right, and some of the arena changes and other things that are going to be going on. So there is going to be a new side story coming out in terms of Mage Luna and Fallen Cecilia, so that's going to be quite interesting. And we're going to start off this. Hall of Trials is getting a revamp, right? So the revamp for Hall of Trials is going to be quite interesting because they're going back on something that they said they weren't going to do before in the past. Okay, but we'll get to that in a bit. You're fighting ML5s here, so the first one's going to be an Abyssal Euphine boss. Each boss is going to have different conditions, and apparently the battles will get tougher. So you do have to consider team comps and stuff. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of guides. I'll probably look into making some as well myself, if I have the time for it. But yeah, Mage Luna is gonna be interesting. I wonder if they're gonna tailor like the first round to Mage Luna to kind of boost their sales a little bit. Who knows? But the Hall of Trial rankings, look at this. Here it is. You're gonna get Fate's Gaze, right? If you score, I think if they say if you, depending on your Hall of Trials rankings, yeah? So you're gonna get this, and you can buy exclusive equipments for ML5s. So one of the things that they promised before was that they weren't going to give exclusive equipments for ML5s because they're already really strong. Seems like they're going back on that now, and we'll see what the first batch of EEs for ML5s is going to be. I really hope that they actually use it to revamp older ML5s and try to make them more relevant without a huge balance patch and stuff. Maybe just kind of tweaking their kit a little bit to make them better at their jobs. I would very much appreciate that. I hope they're not giving it to like new units, right? And typically they don't, right? At least with the RGB 5 stars, they haven't really done that, so it's good. We'll see, though. We'll see. Looking forward to it, especially for older units. Maybe they'll give an EE to Closer Charles to revamp his animations. Alright, so speaking of animations, we're fighting a Kraken boss, and this Kraken is looking quite insane. So, the Abyssal Tyrant Kraken, we already see it has like 8 tentacle buffs or something going on, which is quite nutty. Wukong's going to be great for this mode as well. I think Wukong, my general opinions of him is that he's probably going to be good in PvP as well. Will he be used there? Who knows? We'll have to see. But yeah, the animations of the Kraken are pretty cool. Look at this. It's nuts. The animation team never fails to impress. Okay, but Let's go ahead and jump into this. They're actually tweaking Rift a little bit. So, as you can see, they said that the previous Rift seemed to be too difficult, so they are lowering the difficulty so that the first level of Rift can actually be cleared in 1 to 2 battles, which is very nice because it used to take like like forever, like 3-4 battles to clear, and it was insane. But yeah, they're also reducing the cost of re-entry, which is nice. I think it goes from 40, the second time is 20, and the third time is 10. I think before it was like 30 time per entry, 30 energy per entry, so this is going to save us on quite a bit of stamina. The Battle Pass is still going to be there, and for the Battle Pass, I think you get to choose your Reforge equipment now too, with the chest instead of having like predetermined Reforge stuff, so it's not terrible. Okay. Here's the other thing, Arena is getting revamped, and as you can see here, when you enter Arena, now you're going to see 3 opponents that are going to be randomly given to you. Seems like you can still manually refresh the opponent list if you want, but you can choose from those 3 opponents. When you beat one of them, it resets the whole list. This actually kind of reminds me of AFK Journey's arena system. I'm only referencing AFK Journey because I played it. It's like one of the most recent new games I've played. But yeah, kind of reminds me of that, so it is quite interesting. We'll get to this in just a bit, but if you beat one, it refreshes the whole list. You can still manually refresh. I wonder if this is going to change things a little bit in terms of how people make defenses. Probably not, but the next thing might. So, look at this. Remember quick battling, where you can sweep your hunts and sweep your spirit altars? They're making a quick match that's going to be used in Arena, and it looks like you can also have like a separate currency here, so these will not be counted the same as your quick sweeps for like hunts and stuff. Okay, so you can use these in all battles, but you can't use them in NPC challenges, and you can do it up to 10 times a day. Okay, so I wonder how this calculates who's gonna win. Does it just kind of lets the AI like kind of play it out and like assume that your team's on auto and their team's on auto and just see who wins? I wonder how quick that calculation is gonna be, right? It's interesting. I don't know how it's gonna work, but we'll see. You can also see that on the bottom left here, you get extra points and you get the conquest points as well. So the extra points are actually because they're adding a battle pass to the arena, and that's actually going to be pretty cool. We'll see if they talk about it in just a bit as well. First things first though, you get new ranks. So they're adding the Emperor rank into arena, and those Skystone first initial clears, you can still get those even if you've climbed to legend before. So you can reach Emperor, and you can get those Sky Stones and Conquest points. It's pretty nice. Now, here it is, the Battle Pass for Arena, because every other mode already has a Battle Pass, right? You have, like, kind of a Battle Pass for Expeditions, you have one for Rift, okay? Now we have one for Arena. This is actually kind of cool, and I kind of like this idea, just because it encourages people to play Arena more. I am not a huge fan of Arena, personally, but, hey, I'm not opposed to playing it a bit more, especially with sweeps, right? It should be pretty easy. The other thing is that with gaining points, right, with the arena, you can also, it frees up like your conquest points. So your arena points were originally used to buy the equipment, the conquest tokens. Now it seems like the equipment's in the battle pass, so I wonder what the conquest points are going to be used for. We'll see. If they're going to add new things into the shop or what. But yeah, apparently this new Epic 7 World Championship Arena theme is going to be dragons, which is kind of nice. So Fallen Cecilia and Mage Luna, oh boy, it's going to be really cool. Now, this is just a little bit of news here regarding this upcoming Summer's World Championships, the main matches and stuff, the prize pool. And hopefully they actually hold an offline final in Korea so as to curb cheating, because that is a main thing that happens in all the years past of the Epic 7 World Championships. There's been rampant cheating with account sharing and all that stuff, but now they're cracking down on that stuff. Hopefully they're cracking down on the preliminaries and the qualifying matches, because otherwise it's always been pretty stacked with win trading and stuff. It's just a known secret within the community. It's not new. But hopefully they're doing their best to curb that. Alright, but they are undergoing some changes, so the band selection is going to be quite nice. I hated last year's band selection phase. It was terrible, because whatever you banned in the previous round gets banned out in your next draft. So if you banned out your opponent's Spectre here, then the next match you play, Spectre's pre-banned, which is... it's terrible, right? Terrible design. But you get to go back to choosing, and of course, ban protection is going to be there as well, so it's kind of nice. Here's the schedule, by the way. You can pause the video and check it out. But the preliminaries are closing in a few days, so if you're pushing and you're trying to qualify, best of luck to you. Alright, but last new piece of news here that I think is going to be very welcome to a lot of players is that with Mage Luna on the horizon, well, guess what? They're going to be giving you a free Luna! That's right, just for logging in after July 4th. If you participate in the check-in event, you get Luna for free! And it's amazing. Also on the right here, you see Luna's original design, which is a lot more questionable. Hopefully we don't get demonetized. But you're gonna get a free Luna skin as well, and looks pretty good, right? Looks pretty good. So yeah, that is pretty much all the news for this Maroon Express mail. Kind of hidden in one of their videos here, but it's a longer video if you want to check it out and see all the details for yourself. Little profile card things, I really hope those are going to be emotes. I really hope those two are going to be emotes with the bamboo stick and the hugging. That is so adorable. I absolutely love it. Alright, but, yep, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.